Welcome back to Columbus Brick by Brick, the podcast where we uncover the people, projects, and ideas shaping the future of our city. I'm your host, Jon Styer, broker and owner of Styer Real Estate Professionals, a boutique brokerage focused on helping agents build thriving, scalable businesses with hands-on support and real-world strategy. Each week, we sit down with the voices behind Columbus's growth, entrepreneurs, real estate professionals, and community leaders who are laying the foundation for what's next. Today's guest is someone who knows all about building from the ground up, literally and figuratively. Zach Mccrea is the owner of Near Me Roofing, a fast-growing roofing company based right here in Columbus. In this episode, we dive into what it takes to grow a service-based business in a competitive market and why relationships matter. We'll explore the systems that keep Near Me Roofing running, the myths around owning a trade business, and what legacy means when your work quite literally shelters families across Central Ohio. So whether you're in real estate, entrepreneurship, or just love the great Columbus story, you're going to get a lot out of this conversation. So let's get into it. Well, Zach, I want to thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. It's great having you here, and I'm excited to learn about you and your business and how you started Near Me Roofing and grew it to the success that you're having today. I look forward to hearing about it.
Well, thank you for having me, and I've been looking forward to this since we've talked the first time about it.
Yeah, no. If you could tell me a little bit about the journey you've taken to get, like how you started your roofing company, and then kind of some of the philosophy that you've learned along the way to get you where you are right now, and we can jump right in.
Okay. Long story, kind of short. I was in retail for 8 years. I ran the Buckeye Corner for 4 years, Lane Avenue for 2, and Easton for 2. Mm-hmm. And the direction that I was taking there was I was going to be a district manager. They're owned by Lids, the hat store. Mm-hmm. And they wanted me to move to Minnesota to run the Mall of America district. And they only wanted to give me X amount of dollars, to run 20 more stores. And I was 26 at the time. Yeah. And I didn't want to move 14 hours from my family and for that money. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just stepped back into the store manager role. And I've always been the type of person that wants to push myself. So I went to Indeed and I typed in 6-figure jobs. And there was about 13 or 14 of them, and all of them but one was like a CFO position for different companies in Columbus with all these things that they needed for that. And I'm like, I don't think I could do that. But, a roofing sales position was there, local company. And I was like, I've been doing sales since I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. And, when the chocolate companies come to their school and you're selling stuff, my mom would never let me have a bike because we lived in the inner city. And whoever sold the most chocolates won a bike. So I was like, I'm going to win this bike.
You were motivated.
And so, I won the contest. I got the bike. And, from then on, I've always liked kind of like the entrepreneurial things. Yeah. And, I was like, I haven't been on a roof since I was 12 years old. I don't know anything about a roof. And, I went to that interview with that company and we kind of established a pay that I couldn't refuse. Mm-hmm. And, I got into the industry and it took a while. It took me 6, 9, 12 months, somewhere around there to really enjoy what I was doing because a lot of people just see a roof as just a roof, right? But then I quickly learned that it's the most important thing that somebody owns because it protects everything you own. Mm-hmm. And when somebody has a roof leak, they think it's the end of the world, right? And, for that person it is. But for us, it's a pretty quick and easy thing to diagnose and fix. Mm-hmm. But getting into the industry, to get back to that question, I used to run a very large retail company and it was roofing after I left the first company that was locally owned. And that company was retail based. And I've always wanted to help people. I've always enjoyed that. And when you work for a very large company that's nationwide, you can't help people as much as you want. Yeah. There's just no way to do it. They have to have a certain margin and I get it. And it's the nature of the beast. But trying to grow intentionally and try to make sure that I don't have to do that because I want to always be able to help people no matter if I add more people on my team. And that's why I've grown as slow as I have as far as team members on staff. And because I always want to make sure no matter who I add that we can always help, that son, that mother, that daughter, the grandmother, the best that we can. Sure. And, that's just kind of what I've told people is, I don't let people work on your house that I wouldn't let work on my mother's. And that's better than I would even do in my own house. And I felt like just keeping that philosophy, like people make business very hard. You know, you ask you like, what is your strategy? Like, how did you get there? And you just work hard. It's that simple, truly. You know, you work really hard and you do right by people and always do the right thing. No matter what it is. Like, even if it costs you more money, like, do the right thing. And I just, anytime we come up with anything that happens on any projects, okay, what would I do in my mom's house to fix this?
Yeah.
Like,
that's the benchmark you use.
Yeah, always. Simple. You know, and like people are like, it has to be this or it has to be that. Zach, we see you everywhere. You know, you're here, you're there. I mean, I work probably 16 to 20 hours a day, and, you know, 8 to 10 of it in my roofing business and another 8 to 10 in networking. And, you know, people are like, well, how do you stay organized? And like, I do it all. You know, I don't have a office manager and a production manager and a general manager. It's me, me, and me. But I do that because I enjoy helping people so much. You know, those positions all require salaries. When you add these positions, you inherently have to charge more, unless you can find a unique way to add them without doing that. And that's what I've been in the background kind of doing. Because like I said, I'm going to keep my prices where they are. I think they're fair. I beat a lot of other companies in price. But it's just because of how my business model is. Yeah. And working with realtors, I don't pay for leads. Nothing, zero. I don't give referral bonuses, you know, nothing. People are like, well, my other roofer does this. Well, keep doing business with them, because if you send me to your mom, you're not going to have me charge your mom $500 more to give you $500. So I just take care of them the best. And I tell them, like, I'm an extension of you. You know, when you refer me to them and it saves them so much money, they're always going to remember you as a real estate agent. Like, you know, we got 3 quotes, and this guy was $3,000 less than this other quote, same quality, you know, same warranty, and he was there. It wasn't, you know, XYZ guy. Like, it was actually him that went to go do it and see it and observe it. Yeah. And I think that's what kind of really makes me really unique, is my care on each project. And it doesn't matter if it's, you know, a whole condo association or if it's, you know, $150,000 flip for an agent. Or one piece of trim board or one shingle. Like, the same quality and the same care goes to each one of those things the same.
So as you continue to grow, which I know you have plans to do, how do you plan on that growth while maintaining that philosophy of, hey, I want to treat you like I would treat my mom, let's say? How do you plan for that? Because, like you mentioned, a large company, it gets harder and harder to do.
For sure.
And eventually, as you mentioned as well, you got to lean on other people, because if you want to grow your company, you can't continue to be the only guy. What's the plan for you? Have you thought about that?
Absolutely. And it's hard in any industry, right, to find those people that have that integrity and those same values. Because I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not in this for money. Money is a byproduct of success. When you treat people correctly and you do things the right way, money follows. And so, you know, there's a lot of people out there that, you know, preach, you know, this roofing can change your life. You know, you can make more money than your parents. You can have this lifestyle that you've always dreamed of. But for me, that's not what I preach. Because I preach, you know, if you want to do right by people, like, that's the people I want on my team. People that are out there like, hey, like, I just want to take care of people, and whatever happens because of that, great. So eventually, like, I had a goal when I first started my company, and I wanted to have 5 locations across Ohio in the next 10 years, and all be about an hour from each other and just, you know, rule Ohio. Well, a few weeks ago, I kind of was like, you know what? What if I just put a pin in downtown Columbus and go an hour out, circle, and just rule that area? There's more than enough business in that area for anybody that wants to do a good job. And I feel like when I bring people on, I want to bring people on. They're like, hey, like, you know, I want to help, you know, these people that other people, you know, are kind of taking advantage of. And so that's why I have grown slow. And my plan is, you know, find people slowly. You know, you find people, you build relationships with them. Like, okay, this person has the right mindset. You know, this person always does the right thing, and know them more as a person instead of a salesperson. Because I don't care if you're the best salesperson in the world. If you're not a good person, I don't want you on my team.
Right. No, and I think that's important, you know, because, you know, you work through relationships.
Absolutely.
And, you know, real estate is a relationship industry. You're real estate adjacent, or, you know, you work in real estate too in a different avenue. And it's a people business.
100%.
More than anything. I mean, you have a product and a service attached to that product. but it comes down to people and relationships.
Yeah.
And, someone who works from exclusively through referral like you do, you've got to maintain those relationships. So I hear what you're saying about the importance of maintaining a reputation and a company culture and finding the right people to help you do that. Can be a struggle. It can be tough. And so you've got to meter your growth to be able to allow you to find the right people. Because eventually you can't do it all yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
There's only 24 hours in the day.
Yeah.
And if you're doing 3 jobs, you're going to eventually run out of time because, if you're going to continue to grow and you're going to rule that hour around Columbus, that's a lot of homes.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of homes. It's a lot of properties.
Yeah.
So, so do you think about that often, or is that something on your mind, or is that something in the future for you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a really big thinker. I think all the time, right? Like I always tell people I play chess, right? Like if this comes up, what's my answer? If this problem arises, what do I do to fix it? Mm-hmm. I'm very much a proactive person, not a reactive person. And a lot of people close to me would probably tell you the same thing. I'm really close with a lot of different people in the industry. And, if something happens, like I'm always able to help that person, that realtor, that client on something else. Like I tell people, I feel like I run 50 businesses a day because all my close friends that own businesses, like I'm one of their biggest referral sources. Mm-hmm. And, if I'm on a roof and somebody tells me they have an electrical problem, I have somebody. If somebody has a basement problem, I have somebody for that. Yeah. Drywall, painting, I have somebody for that. And just kind of being that answer for people, to find reputable people because it is hard. So when you're growing, like for me, it's like I don't always just think about the roofing industry, right? Like I don't think – because I do feel like you can teach people anything. People want to learn.
I agree.
People want to learn, they're going to learn. Yeah. And, if they come up with me and we get on roofs together, like I can show you different things. Even if you can be a Best Buy salesman, and like I said, I worked in retail for 8 years in malls. Sure. So I think you can definitely pivot, and if you care about people, you'll find your passion. And so as I grow, like you said, an hour outside of Columbus, like there's probably 1 million homes. I don't know that to be a stat. I mean, somebody maybe can look that up for us. Right. But, yeah, I feel like to do that, because we're currently constructed, like I have a full-time in-house repair guy in me. I'm willing to do 1 roof a day, maybe 2. Mm-hmm. I'll have him project manage one as well, because I do know I can trust him, and I do know I can count on him, and I do know that he's going to do the right thing. But I'm not going to add people till I know that. I don't want to hire 40 door knockers and just tell people, hey, go out there and have a free-for-all just to make more money. Because I don't want to – I'm not willing to sacrifice the reputation that I've built just to make a couple more dollars. Yeah. Like I want to own my business for 30 years. Like I have like a 30-year plan. Yeah. It's not tomorrow. And I feel like for me, I'm okay with growing the way that I'm growing and building those relationships and maintaining those relationships that I have, because it changes every day. I work with a lot of different realtors that have, sold hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate, and realtors who have sold 1 or 2 houses. Yeah. But that person to me is still a person, and the relationship to me is the same with both of them. Yeah. I don't value one relationship over the other, and everybody's kind of equal to me.
Well, I like that. I love that. And I always am harping on the value of relationships and people. So it's nice to hear you, agreeing and saying the same thing, because it's the difference. It's the difference in, maybe what separates your business from the competition, and probably why people come back to work with you. For sure. And your agents that you work with and refer you do so time and time again. Yeah. I'd love to hear a little bit about the roofing industry in general. What's something that you think that maybe either agents or homeowners may not know about roofs, or the process of getting a new roof or repairs that you think you see time and time again that might be insightful for people to learn?
For sure. So we do about 30 to 50 repairs a week off of home remedy request. So we'll work with agents. You send me your home inspection, and we'll go through, like, okay, what do we do here? 90% of the time, I can give you, an answer on a repair. If it's just a couple shingles here, or, one gutter bad here. But I think the thing is that a lot of people don't know about and that hurts people is that the insurance process has changed drastically. So the insurance over the last really 2 years, year and a half, has really tightened up. So in a part of a buy-sell, like I'm having roofs that are only halfway through its life, and the insurance company is saying, hey, you have to replace this. Like we're not going to give you insurance on this if you don't replace this. Or if we are going to give you insurance, it's ACV. Or the deductibles now are going to 1% of the property values. And when all these things are the case, I mean, it's very good for somebody that's retail-based like myself. You know, and most of the companies in Columbus are insurance-based, and they have been for 20, 30 years. And insurance companies have been shelling out monies for roofs, shelling it out.
Yeah.
People are complaining about, you know, how much their insurance costs. And it's like, well, all your neighbors are getting roofs for their deductible.
Yeah.
Or people are waiving deductibles, which isn't the right thing to do, but it happens every day. So, you know, when you go through that, those insurance carriers are saying, hey, we're not doing this. And if you don't have a cash buyer, you can't get a mortgage if you don't have insurance. Yeah. So, you know, and then really telling my selling agents, like, hey, like if this roof is 15 to 20 years old, like you really should think about this. Like I live and breathe it every day, and I see it. You see it on roofs less old. You know.
So what's a conversation that the agent should be having with their client?
I think for me, one of the biggest thing that makes me different than a lot of people is I'll take zero down and get paid at escrow. Like I'll do a pre-listing roof for agents. I don't know any other company that does it. There's probably a couple out there, but I don't know of them. So I tell them, I'm like, hey, you have to have a strict conversation with your client. Like, hey, and whether that's, you know, you add that value to whatever you're going to charge for the house, you know, say, hey, this, because what I always see is on MLS, it's new roof 2025. Yeah. First line. Yeah. And, you know, if you have first-time home buyers, if you have elderly people, like they don't want to deal with the roof. They don't want to deal with HVAC, and they don't want to deal with foundation. Yeah, anything, right? So, you know, when you're telling your clients, like, hey, this roof is 20 years old, like, I don't care if it's big, if it's small, like, this will be a problem. Because it will be. Yeah. Like, you're not lying to them. Like, and I'm talking, I gave one agent, you know, she had me go out and look at a property. Her seller didn't want to do the roof, and this roof was really bad. And I said, hey, you know, agent, this will become a problem. So that the client let that home go in and out of contract 3 times, all because of the roof. The 4th time, the client, who I didn't have any conversation with, calls me and said, hey, Zach, you know, you gave me a quote back in the fall. This has fell out of contract 3 times. I need to do the roof or we're not going to close. Yeah. And so we did it. You know, we did it in the period of time that we needed to be done. It went well. But it's just the nature of the beast. Like, it's never been like that. So, you know, when you have people that move even 5 years ago, that wasn't the case. So everybody's like, what do you mean?
It's a different market than it was 5 years ago.
And, you know, and now, like, your home remedy requests now are 15, 20 pages, 20 line items. Yeah. You know, before it was non-existent, or they're waiving inspection, right, or no remedy. And I'm like, now it's just not the case. It is a buyer's market. Like, they have more choices than they ever had.
It's definitely, comparatively to what it was, it's definitely slid back in that direction.
Yeah.
For sure.
So or if, you know, if you have FHA buyer or VA buyer, right, like you have flaking paint on fascia boards, like you got to do something about it.
Sure.
Like, there's no choice.
There's no choice.
And so for us, it's like, we tell people, like, wrap it all in aluminum, you know, like that's the easiest and the quickest thing to do, and it fixes your issue. So, you know, if you're an agent out there and you have a roofer you like to deal with, absolutely do a pre-listing inspection. Yeah. 100%. Like, see what they think of the roof. Preferably a retail-based company, local. Yeah. Because for them, they live here, right? And the company's owner is here. So they're putting their name on that.
You mentioned something that I found was interesting, and I'd like to hear about the decision-making process that you went through to make that decision for your business. You said you'll get paid out of escrow at closing. Have you always done that?
Yes.
So what was the deciding factor that allowed you to start doing that within your business, and has that ever bitten you negatively?
Okay. I have always done it. And to be honest, it's been because I do get supported so much from your guys' community. And I don't live in $1 million house. I don't drive a $250,000 car. And so I'm able to front that. And I do, you know, usually anywhere from 1 to 3 roofs a week for realtors. And they're not all that way. And I tell them, like, I prefer, you know, something down. Yeah. But if your client has no money, like I trust you as an agent. You know, every agent I work with, I trust. And, you know, I trust that they have my best interest. And, you know, when we do it, I've never been bitten ever.
Really? That's great. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, you know, and I just had this conversation with somebody recently. You know, I tell them, like, if I would get bitten by it, it's the cost of doing business, and I feel like something else behind that would become bigger to make up for that.
Yeah.
Like, just part of always doing the right thing.
The karma's it's gonna come out in the wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you take care of people, and people will want to take care of you.
Yeah, and you know, if that happens with any of my agents that I do business with, like, obviously they would feel horrible, right?
I mean, I think that the it's not even the people aspect of it. It's just the nature of the business, and that, like, not every time a property closes, things happen.
Yeah.
And so that would be, if I was in your shoes, my biggest concern is, like, not that people are going to, you know, hurt me on purpose.
Yeah.
But because you said, you know, you do trust the people you work with, and you should. I mean, I think that's great.
Yeah.
But, like, things can happen. So, you know, business is risk.
For sure.
And so you're willing to take on maybe a little bit larger risk because you're a smaller business. You get to make the decisions. It's your company. Whereas, you know, maybe a larger company may choose not to do that, but that's an advantage that you have over them.
100%. Yeah.
Which I respect, in that, you know, hey, we got as small business owners, we got to get a leg up any way we can.
Yeah.
You know? And if you're building relationships and you're working off referral, if you're able to offer something that others can't, that's going to win you business.
For sure. And I think, you know, it's different because I'm not a $1 billion company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have private equity backing me. I don't have anybody in my family that's a millionaire. And so for me, it's like very hard work driven. Like my grandfather, I say this to a lot of people, he worked in a steel mill for 36 years. You know, I got raised by a single mother in the inner city. I tell people, nobody's going to outwork me.
Yeah.
I just had two of the best role models that you could have on hard work and making things happen. That I don't ever really get down by stuff like that either. Like if something bad would happen like that, I would just wash it off.
Yeah.
Because there's no point to dwell on it. You can't change it.
You're going to live to fight another day.
Yeah, you can't change it.
Yeah.
So why let it affect you? Money comes and goes. And that's not what defines me.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what I like, helping people. So, you know, if that that day comes, and, you know, inevitably probably will.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I like the philosophy, and I like that you've positioned yourself in a way that allows you to do that for your clients, which is neat because it's unique. And I appreciate that you say, like, if it happens, it happens. You know, you're not gonna live and die by it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's good. Well, hey, walk me through what a typical day, because you mentioned you wearing so many hats. What's a typical day look like for you as a business owner who owns a roofing company? So
typically for me, Monday through Friday, I like to go to real estate meetings all around the city. I think there's 18 of them. I kind of go to the same 5 to 7. Some meet every other week. Some meet every week. And then I go to social events. So I go there. Usually take from 8:30 in the morning to 10 in the morning at those meetings. Like I was telling you, I do about a build a day. I go from that meeting to my build, make sure everything's going good. If the guys need anything, I get them whatever they need. Check out my build, and then from there, just run the appointments I have. I typically look about 3 to 5 roofs a day, and that all can change. You know, sometimes I'm at these real estate meetings and I'll get 3 or 4 texts. Yeah. Hey, Zach, I need you to do this. So my day just went from semi-busy to crazy. Yeah, and I'm all over the city. You can know
what the day is going to look like as a business owner, but that doesn't mean that's what the day is going to look like.
No. People are like, oh, what's your day look like tomorrow? I'm like, we'll know tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll go look at all those roofs, and then I go in the evenings. You know, I'll go to the happy hours or the different things like that, networking events.
You do a lot of networking.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like I tell people, it's literally half my business.
Yeah. Yeah. And as someone who works from referral, I mean, that's super important. You are, I'm sure, constantly working towards building your network. What's something that you do besides going to events that is part of your business in building that network?
So I eat out every day for every meal. Fun fact.
Interesting.
I have friends and people tell me, if you could save so much money if you eat at home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always tell people, when I'm out and I'm eating at these places, if you would just eat at home, I think you miss the opportunity from meeting somebody that could change your life forever.
And are you talking about like just grabbing something to eat, or do you
usually
schedule?
Kitchen Social?
Okay.
Shout out Kitchen Social. I go there about 4 days a week. But yeah, I just go there and just sit at the bar. I'm always in my stuff, always.
Yeah.
If you find me out of my stuff, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I have hoodies and polos and long sleeves and short sleeves.
You're representing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people always know what I do. And when I'm out, like I've probably gotten 25 to 30 jobs from Kitchen Social.
That's cool.
I did one of the 4 owners' roofs in his personal home.
Yeah.
Because I do eat there so much. And he's like, Zach, like you support us so much, I want to support you.
That's great.
And, just all of it, it's just always being a good representation of yourself. And, just like I said, treating people right. If like yesterday I did a roof in Urbana, and driving back, I was in a town called Mutual, and nothing there. These little kids had a lemonade stand. And, I just pulled over. I was like, let me stop. And those 5 kids and their mom. And, they're like, oh, they're raising money for the fair. They have animals. Seeing that there was 5 kids. And I was like, okay. And, just gave them $100. And they were like shocked. And I'm like, I appreciate the entrepreneurial spirit. It's hot.
Yeah.
Like you're outside. And, I want to support those kids. And, I don't need anything from it. My truck's not wrapped. They don't I don't need to be told good job or, post that on social media. But I felt like, and more people I feel like do those things that also don't do that. But yeah, like just doing the right thing for them and like showing them that one day they can do that for somebody else.
Yeah. What's some advice you would give to those kids who have an entrepreneurial spirit that want to learn, what it's like to own a business? What's a piece of advice you might give to them if you were talking to them right now?
I would say, it can be hard in different ways. Sometimes people are slower, in business, and they worry. But I feel like going back to doing the right thing and treating people right, like if you do those things, it will always work. Even if you feel like you're at bare bottom, like you're like nothing to look forward to. It just takes a second, that one phone call, and it'll change your life forever.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I first started my business, when I left the company that I worked for, I didn't know what I was going to do. Like I knew I was going to start a roofing company, and the logistics of it. I had a lot of people help me, form the LLC, form this, do this. There's a lot of stuff involved in opening a business.
Right.
And, just really like everybody around me helped me so much. I couldn't even tag everybody that helped me. Just small stuff, insurance, this, making sure that I'm covered. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but just don't give up. Like as long as you got to believe in it, you got to believe in it.
Yeah.
And the belief is the most important thing. And when I first started my business, I was working this claim because my first year and 3 months in the industry, I did all insurance work. That's all I did.
Yeah.
And, I was working. And one day I was just like, and I was technically unemployed. And my wife, she works for a YMCA program where there's underprivileged kids go there, and 5 and under, and they get to go there for free. So they had that was around October, and I bought like a couple hundred pumpkins, for them to carve and paint. And I wasn't making any money, nothing was coming in. And I was on my way to Delaware, actually, to the Delaware Board of Realtors meeting, and I got a call from the State Farm agent. It's like, hey Zach, I know we haven't gotten back to you, blah blah blah, but we want to let you know that your estimate's been fully approved. That roof still to this day is the biggest roof I've done. It was $60,000 roof.
Oh wow.
And I'm like,
it was a big roof.
I felt good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could not do anything for a couple months off the profit that I made from that, and I'm like, I'm good. Like that gave me so much cushion, and I was able to kind of build and grow my business slow because of that.
Yeah.
But that one thing is all it took.
The catalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wow, well, that's a cool story. And the belief is so important for people that are starting a business or want to start a business is you got to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe it, no one's going to believe it for you.
Yes, the passion, right?
Yeah.
And
Like you got to want it more than anybody else. And I tell people all the time, that like agents who are looking to get into real estate or looking to grow their business, no one can want it for you. No one can believe in you more than you if you're going to succeed.
yeah, I think that's huge, right? I tell people, if you're 50-50 on something, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you won't succeed.
Yeah.
Like, you already don't believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Right? But you meet people and you have people that, I'm thinking about this or I'm thinking about that. And it's like, you got to figure out what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've always been very confident, very determined my entire life. I mean, since I was a little kid.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I have this goal that I want to get to and nobody's going to stop me from getting there. What I'm going to do or, how that looks, I don't know, but I will figure it out.
Yeah. You believe in yourself that you're going to figure it out.
Yes.
And I think that something that I've heard recently is like, you also have to trust in your future self, that like you're going to have information then that you don't have now.
Yeah.
So it's important to remind yourself of that. Like, hey, I might not have this figured out right now, but I believe in myself that I can figure it out, and that my future self is going to have information then that I don't have now. And so like you can move forward knowing that like, hey, I've got this.
Yeah.
Like I know I can do this because I've accomplished stuff in the past, and I've proven to myself that I can accomplish things. So I know in the future I'm going to be able to do it again. I
like that. And people ask me like, oh, what made you get into roofing? What did you have somebody in your family that did it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like literally just dumb luck for the first one, and the answer is no for the second one.
Yeah.
My grandfather, who was my best friend, he was only 62 when he passed. He died 11 years ago, and he never said I love you, never said I'm proud of you a day in my life, but he would push me. And he grew up even poorer than we did in same city, Canton, Ohio. He worked for Timken Steel, and if I ran track, I'd win a race. He'd say, you can win by more.
Mm-hmm.
I would clean his gutters or pick up sticks out of his yard. He would tell me I could do it faster. If I'd run 10 miles, he'd tell me I could run 11. And, it's a double-edged sword. I think you're never going to be satisfied with yourself. But he knew that, like, in order to get myself and my future family out of where we were,
mm-hmm.
I had to have that mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's hard. When you grow up in a small town or small city, and nobody really around you is winning enough,
mm-hmm.
and you're just stuck in that same place, and you can't move out because nobody is willing to. You got to work 100 times harder than people in different areas
mm-hmm.
to get out of those areas,
mm-hmm.
and you got to have people make those decisions. Like him, to work at a steel mill for 36 years. Because I'll tell you, who would want to do that?
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And I tell my family all the time, I'm like, he sacrificed himself for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was like, I don't want my family to go through the same thing that I went through.
Yeah.
And
he wanted a better life for his family.
And so, I tell my family, I'll be damned if I let him down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I live life every day to make him proud. I have a keychain. He always told me work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
He always wanted me to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And, not work in those dirty environments, take care of yourself, work white collar, right? And I keep it on a keychain every day. I have one that says work smarter, not harder. And on the back side is a picture of him.
Mm-hmm.
And, I live life every day to make him proud. I'm like, if I do that, I sleep well at night, and I feel like he was robbed of a life that he deserved. Because even though he didn't say, I love you or I'm proud of you, he would do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
He'd work 60, 70 hours a week,
Yeah.
Killing himself.
Mm-hmm.
And you call him for help, he's the first one there.
Mm-hmm.
His next door neighbor told me a story. Like, he'd get off work, he'd go over there and help him shingle his house.
Mm-hmm.
And, he, when he passed, his next door neighbor served in Vietnam and was a Marine. And he told my mom, he said, your dad is the toughest guy I've ever met. And he said, and I served in Vietnam as a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge testament.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, he was my superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And when he died, I lost any male figure that I was willing to listen to. I felt like he's the only one that really got me in my life. And because I wanted to be a UFC fighter from age 6 to 16. Like, I enjoyed fighting, and he was in juvie. He dropped out as a freshman in high school. And just because he had to work,
Mm-hmm.
There would be days where they didn't get to eat. And, that type of drive is different. and to instill that drive in me.
Do you feel like you've made him proud?
Absolutely.
Good for you. That's great. Good for you. You know, hard work is important. And as business owners, we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have a choice. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You're doing great. And hearing you speak about who you are, what you believe, and the hard work that you put into your business for your family, because I hear what you're saying about what he said and wanting better for your family. I think that's what we do.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we do as people. So, I'm sure that you are making him proud.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So what's next for you? I mean, I know you're working on growth. You're working on slow growth. How do you plan for that? How do you strive for that? Do you have any goals for next year, the year after that, 5-year goals? I know you got a 30-year plan of, hey, I'm going to work this business and I'm going to grow it for 30 years.
Yeah.
What does the next year look like? Do you have any thoughts of that?
I tell all my close friends, coming out of this winter, I will have, a production manager.
Mm-hmm.
I will have some sort of office manager.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to do it in a fat way that I'm not going to change my pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll just take less. Because I'd need it.
Mm-hmm.
Doing 30 to 50 repairs a week, maintaining 400 plus relationships is very difficult.
Yeah.
And, my buddy John Lake owns We Power Electric out of Delaware. And, he has 8 or 9 techs and like his office manager, and it's a flowing machine.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, he's like, Zach, when you get that piece, that office manager piece, he says checkmate for everybody.
Yeah.
And I have 123 5-star reviews on Google. And this October will be my full year in business.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just hitting the ground hard and doing the stuff that big companies don't want to do. 1 piece of fascia, 2 shingles. We're there within 24 hours.
Totally.
To do that stuff.
And it's hard to find people that'll do that necessary stuff that needs done, but it's not a huge $60,000 roof.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just they aren't interested, but that's how you get. That's the work that you have to do to grow a business.
Yes. It's all the small things.
You got to grind.
And that's why I have a full-time in-house repair tech.
Mm-hmm.
I stole him from a very large company,
mm-hmm.
and his dad has been the longest tenured employee at that very large company.
Mm-hmm.
And, I have all the right people in my sphere, and there's people out there in the roofing world that I help support. On 90% of repairs, my repair guys make more money than me.
Mm-hmm.
90%.
Mm-hmm.
And that number may be higher.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm okay with only making $100. If we're doing so many, who cares?
Right.
People are like, oh, you're not making enough profit. Wait till you grow X, Y, Z. Well, I've never wanted to fit in. I've always wanted to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to break a mold. I've always would rather ask, forgiveness than permission,
mm-hmm.
and figure it out. I'll go out do a repair, and it'll be for somebody 85 years old. For somebody's son, send me to him, and I was like, oh, my dad said you'd invoice me. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
He had the bundle of shingles. It took my guy, 20 minutes. Like, I'll pay my guy.
Yeah.
And I don't do that and expect anything in return. And people just post me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
It comes back to you. We talked about that earlier.
Absolutely. Like when you do good things for people, it comes back.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people want to play checkers. A lot of people in business.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I did something for you. I expect some in return. I went to go look at this roof. I expect to do the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have those expectations.
Yeah.
I want to go look at a roof and tell you, hey, this roof is good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like that because, like I said, I want to own my business forever.
Right.
I don't want to sell to a private equity group.
Mm-hmm.
I want to own this, and and when I tell somebody, hey, you have 5 to 7 years left on this roof, they will be a client of mine in 5 to 7 years.
Right.
And that's okay. It's just future business.
That's an investment. That's an investment in your business because you are putting yourself out there as someone that can be trusted.
Yes.
And if, it comes back to you in 5 to 7 years, then that's great.
Yeah.
You're not selling your business. You're maintaining it. You're growing it. And the word of mouth business that you're running, that is still an investment. While it might not be money in your pocket today, when it's time for a new roof for them, it's money in your pocket then.
Yeah.
That's capital that can grow your business further so you can help more people.
Yeah, I tell people word of mouth is undefeated.
Yeah.
I tell people I'm 30 years old, but I really do business like I'm 90.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could shake your hand and do your roof. It's scary, for all parties involved, but I could. If I really trust you, like, hey, Zach, take, and usually in a retail setting, I take half down, half when it's done. But yeah, if somebody's like, hey, like, Zach, do you care if I give you, 25% down and, make payments to you here and there? Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's like you said, it's just, I've positioned myself as a small business that I tell people I'm the biggest small business you'll ever meet because I have the same access to the same people that every large company on any billboard, any commercial has, but as an individual. And I take care of my people more than those people because those people, I wouldn't make money if it wasn't for my crews. I use the same guys. And like, we literally, it's funny, we joke, like they're like my brothers. And so, I'll buy them lunch, they do a huge roof, like I'll buy them lunch, like who cares? I'll bring them water, I'll bring them ice. And there's just not a lot of people doing that because they're just going to the next job and the next job and the next job. And once they sell it, they're done. They're out of the process. People think it's crazy. I still go pick up the checks and they're like, Zach, you can't do that forever. Yeah. But I'm like, hey, it's like another touch point. And I'm like, it's not, I don't care if it like Urbana, Reynoldsburg, Marion, Circleville. Like I do roofs all over the state. I've done a roof on Lake Erie. I've done a roof in Toledo, Cincinnati, 20 minutes south of Athens. And, we had my repair guy last week, we had a realtor had a leak on a roof that was 20 minutes south of Athens. My best friend, Bailey LaForge, he owns Soul Stop. He also flips houses. His sister had a leak, and she lives down by Cincinnati. So I told my repair guy, like my repair guy went from here to 2 hours south to 3 hours west. He had 7 hours in his truck. Jeez. And, and I just was like, hey, like, let me know, like, I'll take care of you. I know you're driving a lot today, but that's what it is. I've had people need one piece of trim board to be PVC trim, and Menards, stock it. The size was unstocked, and it was going to take 3 weeks to get in. And I was just looking all around the state. So Cincinnati had one, and I'm like, why is this going to take 3 weeks to get sent here? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. I literally just drove down there on a Sunday to pick up that piece and bring it back. I'm like, just so the job could get done. Right. And, I just feel like going that extra mile. Like I told my wife, years ago, I was like, hey, if you want to be with somebody with normal, that's not me. If you want somebody that works a 9 to 5, if you go on, X amount of vacations a year, that will never be me. And I always go above and beyond for my people. And even if you refer me to somebody, right, like a realtor, when a realtor that I trust and like refers me to somebody, I already like and trust that person. And I'm going to take care of that person, stranger or not, like I would my mom. Like I told my wife, a few weeks ago, somebody had a leak. It was 11 something at night in Reynoldsburg. And a lot of people tagged me on her post. I literally told her, I was like, I'll come out there tonight. I told my wife, I said, I'm tired, but I'd rather go do this tonight than in the morning. Yeah. And if I can, I would. If somebody has a leak, like I said, they think it's the end of the world. But if I can go out there and diagnose it and say, hey, like, this isn't bad, give that person peace of mind because, like, she wasn't able to really figure it out. When I got out there, it wasn't even a roof issue. It was a water line from the fridge that was just spewing water for 2 months. Oh, my gosh. And insulation was soaked, but I found it. I shut her water off for her. I'm not a plumber. But I'm like, hey, like, this will help it for now. Right. But, like, this is what you need. And I didn't think it was a roofing issue either because it wasn't raining that day. Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? Still, let me go help this person. Like, that's one thing that my grandpa really instilled in me is if you can help people, you should. Like, don't, if you can, you should. If it just requires time, then you help them.
I love that. Well, let's leave it with that because I love that message. If you can help people, you should. Yeah. So how can I help people find you?
Just tag me on Facebook, man. Just share my number with them. I'm probably the only roofing company. I tell people, get 3 quotes. Like, I want you to get 3 quotes. Yeah. Like, if you're a real estate agent and you have a roofer you like, great. Just see the differences, and see if you want to go give them one, give me one, that's fine. But, like, if you want to just say, hey, here's 2 or 3 people that I really like and trust, just give me an opportunity. Like, I'm here to earn your business. Yep. I'm not here. You don't have to give it to me. Like, give me an opportunity. Give me a 1 trim board job. Give me a 2 shingle job that your other guy won't do or doesn't want to do. Yep. and we'll just show you the time, energy, quality, it all the same. Before, during, after pictures, we'll get it done within 24 hours. Tag me, share my information. I'm always available. They can text me at midnight, or 6 a.m. Like, I'm there.
Perfect.
So.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was great chatting with you and learning more about you and your business and your philosophy with it. And I'm excited to see you continue to succeed.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on here.
Thanks, Zach. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Columbus Brick by Brick, where we shine a light on the people, projects, and ideas shaping the heart of our city. I want to give a big thank you to Zach Mccrea for joining us and sharing what it looks like to build a business from the roof line up. From lessons in leadership and resilience to insights on customer trust and digital growth, Zach reminded us that hands-on hustle and long-term vision can absolutely go hand in hand. So if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and don't forget to leave a comment, review, or share it with a friend who'd appreciate Zach's story. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Columbus Brick by Brick, and visit our website at columbusbrickbybrick.com for more. So until next time, remember, every brick has a story, and we're here to tell it. We'll see you next time.